Does your furry friend take over your bed every night? It's time to reclaim your space while giving them the comfort they deserve with the coldest, cozy dog bed. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to buy now on Amazon.
Plans for a £4 million cycle lane have been blasted by seaside town locals who claim it will cause a nightmare for drivers and pedestrians. The controversial lane, which is to run along the seafront in Hove, East Sussex, was first unveiled 2 years ago and was due to cost around £475,000. But the scheme, which involves closing a traffic lane to make way for a double cycle lane, has now been expanded with costs ballooning to almost 10 times the original estimate. Last week the new cycle lane was given the green light by councillors on Brighton Hove City Council. But it has been met with anger among residents, businesses, pedestrians and cyclists who branded it an incoherent plan drawn up without thought, consultation or common sense. Dan Rose, a caterer, said, "It is incoherent, ill-thought-out and wrong-headed and a waste of public money. It has been drawn up by a political elite to tick all sorts of boxes without anyone using their common sense. It's far too expensive. £4 million for a cycle lane is just too much. I'd like to know why it is costing so much." Currently there are 2 lanes of traffic heading west out of Brighton and Hove on the A259, with cyclists being diverted onto the beachfront promenade when the dedicated lane runs out. The new scheme involves removing 1 lane between 4th Avenue and the Hove Street traffic lights, near the King Alfred Leisure Centre. That stretch of the new lane will run alongside the group of businesses, Victoria Terrace, which have plied their trade on Hove seafront for more than 100 years. Alison Taylor, who runs Hairdressers Off Your Head, said, "It's going to be an absolute nightmare. The council is going to put a couple of loading bays in, but there are more than a dozen businesses along here. How are they meant to get deliveries if the bays are taken?" The Neptune pub also gets weekly deliveries from a dray lorry, and the lorry will have to completely block the single carriageway to make their deliveries, which will cause traffic chaos and make it very dangerous. Also, many of my older clients get dropped off by taxi and they may be forced to double park. The whole thing fills me with dread. Andy Wagstaff Clark, who delivers to the row of businesses, said, "It is going to make this stretch in front of the businesses very dangerous, as people will be pulling in and out of the loading bays or waiting for one to become free. It is worrying because it doesn't make a great deal of sense, but it is also very, very expensive. I am a keen cyclist and even I don't agree with it." Cyclist Jade Carmen, an artist, said, "I'm a cyclist and I regularly use this route. They want to stop the cycle lane being diverted along the beachfront, but there is nothing wrong with doing that. It's actually nicer being able to see the sea rather than the busy road. The cost of £4 million is unjustifiable. How can it possibly have gone up by so much? I don't agree with it at all." Cyclist Jane Edwards said, "It's preposterous it should cost so much. I can't see the sense in spending that much money on it. I drive as well, and taking out a lane of traffic on what is already a busy road will just slow traffic down, cause traffic jams and increase pollution. I don't support the plans at all." Even Brecycles, a cycling campaign group, said it cannot support the plans as it removes funding from areas which desperately money to improve cycling lanes. The scheme was initially drawn up when the council was controlled by the Green Party. However, it was put on pause when Labour took overall control of the local authority in May 2023. A spokesperson for Brecycles said, "Work was due to start on the A259 active travel scheme between 4th Avenue and Hove Lagoon in June 2023. It was halted just hours before the diggers moved in." Council leader Bella Sankey said it was a pause so a better design could be completed. The council then had to give the contractor £19,000 for every week of the pause until they could agree to a fee that the council would have to pay for terminating the contract. At the time, the council said the redesign would take up to 6 months and that it would be a win-win-win. In the event, it has taken a year, so it's highly unlikely that any of the millions of pounds the council was awarded by the Department for Transport to make the A259 safer for everyone will be spent before June 2025. The County